Hello and welcome to the RPG Academy podcast, Twitch channel, YouTube channel, stream, all that kind of good stuff. My name is Michael, and I'm here today for my fourth session into the original Nintendo Entertainment System classic game, Legend of Zelda. So let's get into it. My green screen looks really weird today. I don't know why. I've been messing with things for a while. I'm frustrated, so we're just gonna go. I'm not gonna worry about it. So last game I finished Dungeon 3. I also went and got the extra heart now that I had the raft. So I am ready to hit Dungeon 4. But as before, the only way to stop this game is to die. So I had to go and have my character killed. So I want to get all my hearts refilled before we go into Dungeon 4. Hello, Foxblade. Welcome. Starting a little early today. I'm taking the day off from walking. Not feeling my best today. So hopefully, not that I want to get this over with, but I'm happy to get into it. Oh, there we go. Because after this, I'm pretty much going to take the rest of the day off. Alrighty, here we go. Dungeon 4. I should have bought a shield before I came in here, but a little too late. Plus, I think this dungeon has those creatures that eat shields, so I probably would have just ended up losing it anyways. Now these goobers here are kind of like those, I don't even know what you call them, those sort of, there's a word for them. My brain's not working. They were in the last dungeon because I have the Master Sword. When I hit those, they would actually die rather than turn into little chocolate chip doohickeys. But these things, because I do not have the magical sword, they break into two red colored bats. So it's helpful if you can hit them with the sword and then throw the boomerang directly after. And then you can kind of get them all at the same time. So pretty much opposite of what I just did. And you may have noticed when I first came into this room, it was dark. I used the candle to light the room. Once you use it once, it stays lit. But I can only use the candle once per room. I have to go in and out each time. Later on, I'll get a red candle, and the red candle, I can use it as many times as I want. I've just been going through bombs like crazy, but I don't remember this dungeon hardly at all, so I don't know where anything is. So I'm just kind of exploring. Of course, now I'm out of bombs, so I can't do that anymore until I get more. Yeah, these goobers. So if you don't have the, that's what I'm looking for here. If you don't have the Master Sword when you fight them, if I hit them with a sword, it just breaks them into two little smaller versions that look like chocolate chips. But because I have the Master Sword, I kill them. Those blue guys that jump around, they do the same thing unless you have the Magic Sword, which I do not have. So I do not have the step ladder yet. So I can't get across that little moat looking thing. These little, to me, they look like Big Macs, like the hamburger from McDonald's. They eat your shield. So if they get on you, they just sort of engulf you and they'll eat your shield if you have the better shield. All right, so now I have the step ladder. So I could go back outside this dungeon and get that heart that's over on the eastern side, close to where I got the last one I got. But I need 12 hearts to get the magic sword. So I still would need another heart. So the step ladder lets me do this. I can just go over these smaller breaks in the water, which is very handy, let me tell you. I think this was a waste. Yep. Well, hello. Welcome to the channel. Just playing some Legend of Zelda. Quite poorly, I might add. There we go. So, pretty sure there's a secret room right above me, but since I got rid of all my bombs, nothing I can do about it right now. Yeah. Oh. So this was a problem. I didn't realize this was here, and without the bombs, it's much harder to kill this guy. Hold on. I'm going to, oh, whew. So I am running this on an emulator. My understanding, I don't know if this is what you're asking or not, but I do own the game because I have that NES Classic console that came out a couple years ago. So I am allowed to stream it. From my understanding, that qualifies. But just for the sake of streaming, it's easier for me to do it this way than to try to figure out how to hook something up that will capture everything. I am in trouble. I don't think there's any way I can beat this final boss in this shape. Oh, and I'm probably going to die right now. That's not good. Let me get back out of there. Whew. There we go. That's fine. Yeah, I assume that's what you were doing, but just in case. So yeah, so I'm just using an emulator just because it's, again, easier for the streaming purposes. Yeah, I have a USB. Yeah, I'm not going to beat this guy. USB controller that I bought third party. Yep, I'm in trouble. Boom. Oh. Yeah, again, not claiming I'm good at this game. So let's see if we can, now that we kind of know where we're going, at least I think I kind of know where we're going. Let's see if we can get back there and win this. Still going to be really hard without the be able to shoot my sword out. And there's not a lot of things in this level that give me items. So I may have to go out and level up. So these are about the only thing in this dungeon I think that might give me hearts. There's one. Yep, I am in trouble. All right, so I'm gonna go out. I just think that's the best option here. Kind of sad I'm going to have to retreat here, but there's just, I don't think there's any way I'm going to be able to get through that otherwise. I had for a while like a Nintendo 64 USB thing that I was trying to use for GoldenEye just for my fun and playing, but didn't work very well. And I was also having trouble with the emulations on that. So, but yeah, this thing, I don't even remember where I got it. Got off of Amazon a few years ago. Very reasonably priced. Uh, all right, there we go. Yeah, I'm not smart enough to know why either. They just every time I've tried one, it just didn't work very well. And I was in college when GoldenEye came out, and I legitimately have probably more hours spent playing GoldenEye than I do in my degree, and it's probably been about as helpful to me as well. But that game was the most insane thing ever. Just perfect timing, being in college. Kind of had left my own devices, could kind of just spend my time however I wanted, and just played that game so much. So I kind of wanted to revisit it. I know there's like an Xbox update, and I had that, but it didn't. I don't know. It just didn't capture the magic for me. I wanted to play the original. So the question is, can I get through this room without losing like half my hearts? Well, we would play in my college dorm room, and we would get mad at people for quote unquote cheating, where we would look at other people's screens. You know, you could see where they were, like if they were camping or something. So we ended up building, I use that term loosely, a like a 4-quadrant screen out of cardboard, and then taped it to the TV. And this is like a old 27-inch curved front console TV, so that when you were playing, you had to like put your head in so you could only see your square of the screen so that you couldn't cheat. And we would have, most cases, we'd have 5 or 6 people playing, but there were times where we would have 10, 12 people. Like basically whoever did the worst in the game got booted, and then someone else got to take their spot. Oh, that was not good. No, actually, I have probably the most useless degree that has ever been put on paper. I have a degree in police administration. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a cop more than anything. Just was my dream in life. And pretty early into that career, I got disenchanted with the idea, but I was already so far along that I didn't want to switch majors. And because it was a police administration degree, it was like on sociology, criminology, theory of police, and it wasn't like the academy. There's no practical. I didn't learn how to use a gun or anything. It kind of worked as like a business degree or management degree. And that's kind of what I used it for. It's actually, I went to one of the few colleges that offer it. Like a lot of colleges offer a criminology degree, but mine was in police administration. So the goal was I would learn how to be like a sergeant or a lieutenant, and eventually maybe even like a police chief type of situation. EKU in Eastern Kentucky is one of the few colleges that offer it. It's a pretty well-respected degree, but I didn't go into law enforcement, so it did nothing for me. I somehow managed to convince somebody that it would work as a management type degree, and I got a job in security. I worked for Target right out of college. It was my first real job for about 10 years or so. And then I went to Home Depot and did the same thing there. Now I'm a stay-at-home dad. Yeah, I'm a firm believer all that degree did was show people that I could be trained, that if you teach me to do something, I'm capable of learning it and applying it. And that was good enough. But I just was I was so far along when I decided to change. I just went ahead and I didn't want to completely change the major. Plus, there wasn't anything else I really wanted to do. So I was kind of lost. Again, not to get too deep because no one cares, but I decided I want to go in the military too. So, my second choice was military. I joined ROTC in college, and I absolutely loved it. I really enjoyed it. And the college I went to, they had I can't remember the terminology now. Basically, the highest ranking officer on campus was able to give out 2 just like arbitrary scholarships every year. And they could give it to whoever they wanted based on whatever criteria they wanted. And it pretty much would have been a free ride, when it went backwards and paid off all the loans I had already taken. It was going to give me a full ride going forward. And then I had to do the standard, 4 years after college, go in as lieutenant, blah, blah, blah. And that's what I wanted to do. I went in, I was the top pick for the scholarship that year. So, I mean, basically they called and told me, you got the scholarship, this is what you're going to do. And my life had a path. It's like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. And then a few hours later, they called me back and my physical had just come back. And because I had a history of kidney stones, they were going to reject me, which is funny because I actually had a kidney stone attack last night. Kidney stones are awful, by the way. I hope no one ever has to deal with them because they're crazy. So I went in like a 3-hour period. This was again the last day of that semester. All my finals were done. And I went from you're getting a scholarship, your life has been decided, you know exactly what you're going to do. And then like 3 hours later, sorry, we actually can't accept you in the military because of your kidney stones. See ya, wouldn't want to be you. And it was a weird, I drove home from college. Again, I thought my life had been set. I knew what I was going to do. And then I was completely adrift. I had no idea what I was going to do after that. So it was a weird summer for me. But all in all, I think it worked out. I do actually think to this day, I think I would have done really... Actually, I do have flat feet as well. When I was in high school, I tried to go into the National Guard and I got rejected for flat feet. But when I was in college, they had kind of got away from that as being like a disqualification on its own. So the flat feet wouldn't have got me. I've always been a really good test taker. So I crushed the, was it ASVAB or whatever that test you take is to go in the civil servants exam. I crushed it. But I couldn't get accepted in because I had flat feet. But the college, it was kidney stones that got me. But I still think I would have done well in the military. I do well in like a structured environment, as I like to say. Not quite Forrest Gumpian, but just, you tell me what to do, I'll do it. But all in all, kind of glad things worked out the way they did. Sometimes my wife and I will talk about, like, imagine what my life would have been like had I gone into the military. So, I don't know. Like I said, I think I would have done well, but it just would have been a vastly different life. So, all right. Well, that is Dungeon 4. So I'm going to, at this point, I guess just go get killed. And then tomorrow the plan is for Dungeon 5. Actually, well, before I do that, I'll see if I can go get the sword. It's 20 minutes in, if I can do that next few minutes. So now that I have 12 hearts, I should be able to get the magic sword, which is obviously the best sword in the game. There's only 3, the starting sword, master sword, and the magic sword. But to get to the magic sword, I have to go through the forest, or the haunted forest situation. And I know a little bit, there's like a pattern. I think it's like down, left. Might be left, down, one of those, before you can actually get through it. Burp. Bombs. So I think it's down and then left and then down and then left. Let's try that one more time. So I mentioned one of the earlier streams of this, the first time I ever played this game. Nope. is it up and left? That I absolutely hated this game because I didn't know how to play it. And this was actually what happened is I got in this maze and I didn't know how to get out of it. And so I just wandered around in circles for a while and then eventually died. Oh man. I'm pretty sure I thought you had to go left to get out. But maybe it's like left and then down. So I'll try left and then down. So if I go right, it should take me back out. Yep. So is it like stride up, left, and then down, left. Haha, that's what it was. Yeah. Haha. I believe the ghost takes 3 hits. And then you can bring out a whole bunch of other ghosts. And then if you hit it the 3rd time, it kills all the ghosts. And you can get some good treasures. So I think there's one more treasure right here. I believe that's where it is. I think there's like a one of these. I think there's like the bracelet that lets you. Yep. So now I have the bracelet, which lets me travel along the secret passages. So that'll do it. I'll go ahead and kill myself here. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so there we go. So tomorrow we'll jump in and hit dungeon 5. So the plan is this pretty much every Monday through Friday, somewhere around 11 o'clock-ish for half an hour-ish or so. And then once I've completed Legend of Zelda, I'm moving on to Metroid. And I've said this before, but I remember Zelda so much better and Final Fantasy so much better than Metroid. I kind of know where I'm going. I do not remember Metroid at all. So it's going to be awful, but hopefully awfully and entertaining. We shall see. But thanks for hanging out, both of you. If anyone else was hanging out in chat but didn't participate in chat, that's cool. Happy to have you anyways. But that's it for today. We'll see you next time. Bye.